Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of me playing Ark Nova as I work my way up through the board game arena leaderboard here. I'm your host, Nick Henning, and today we are playing a two-player, not my preferred format of Ark Nova, but hey, that's what they want us to do in order to get good here. So let's take a look at what we got going on. We're looking at herbivores, reptiles, and Africa, which our hand is a little interesting for. We also got climbing and aquatic part, just the dreams right there. And we're playing on Commercial Harbor, which is actually one of my favorite maps. Penguin Pool on Commercial Harbor is dope because I get to just kind of drop that here at the beginning. We don't have our sponsors coming up until a little bit later, though. And if our opponent grabs the university that gives the 2 reputation, we might not be able to guarantee that we open this. Nonetheless, we're definitely taking Penguin Pool. I like it in general, and it's just going to be pretty solid there. I'm tempted to take Expert on Europe and Barn Owl just because they interact with each other really well, right? Like this builds the thing that you need for the Barn Owl. Even though the Barn Owl is not especially a card that I would take in these instances, it just kind of synergizes really nicely. Alternatively, I'm looking at the 2 reptiles here. They're both a pain in the butt to build. They're not the friendliest of reptiles, but they at least stick on this plan that we're looking at here. I think we are going to stick with the Barn Owl Expert on Europe plan just because I like perception to draw extra cards is just extra money on this map. And let's just grab the boa constrictor. Well, are we ever going to get researchy? I'd really want to take the other. I want to take this university ideally, and then getting that second university, or sorry, that second icon is a little bit of pain in the butt. I mean, frankly, so is it for the reptiles here. But if we ever want to go towards 5 reptiles, this is hard. Maybe I just give up on the Expert on Europe because it's going to be a really long time until I play it. And it's like not that great. We're going to do this actually. We're going to sacrifice the Expert on Europe. And if we don't like our cards, we can always just sell them. That's my favorite part about playing this map is that everything just eventually ends up getting sold. So we do have the advantage of going first, which means we can rip something right off the track here. Unfortunately, there's not a ton super exciting. You could argue that the alligator's okay because it matches and it's got a water icon, which I guess is something that should catch our eye as well. But yeah, man, like I want to play the penguin pool here. And so like a 4-space enclosure doesn't fit really nicely on the water here. So I'm just going to go fishing. All right, we got a handful of exciting things here, I guess. Well, maybe not. Native Lizards is very exciting. These other 2 are not exciting, and I think we're least likely to play primates this game, so we're going to dump that card. But Native Lizards is a card that I really, really like. I super underestimated it when I was starting to get good at this game, and it's just a pile of points on a sponsorship for nearly free, and usually with a very this is the one that you almost never get that end game goal by the time you've built. But actually, this is a map where you can, depending on how the game plays out, just because the rocks are so disparately set up. But like this map, it's not so hard, I think, to get 3, 4, or 6 points, depending on sort of how you've built before you get to that 25. And it's the reptile that an additional reptile. What did our opponent do? They snapped a primate breeding program. So that means that they are holding a primate in hand, and they're almost certainly going to take a zoo. That seems pretty nice for them. We are like just not gonna be playing animals. I guess we're maybe gonna play our barn owl. So we're just gonna use our 5 enclosure to build a 1, which is like really dopey, but it is how it goes. And actually, I'm going to do it here and then play the penguin pool up this way to grab here, I think. Do I want to play somewhere else? The penguin pool connects and the ones there. No, I'm on board with this, and we're immediately going to sell that sponsorship for elephants. I really essentially just like turning my card draws into points on this map. I try to rarely snap as possible when I'm playing this map. I try to run cards at 4 as often as possible rather than kind of doing the other things. So one of the reasons why I like this map is because you just kind of end up playing very differently from, I think, what you do on lots of other maps, or at least I end up playing very differently on other maps. So he's got an African primate, which could mean that he's got a pilfering primate, right? That one of the two size monkeys that pilfers you. So we got to pay close attention to what he's going to build. That is said, we don't really care. We're just going to set up our penguin pool here. But the reason that I care about that is it means that we're going to sell a card. Since we have the free native lizards, we're going to admit maybe we're not going to do the boa constrictor thing. And yeah, it's a good card, but I am just going to, I don't know how many cards I'm going to get to keep. Barn Owl is going to give me more cards, so I'm just going to keep selling cards over and over and over again. Trying to essentially hold down to a 3-card hand when we hit the break. Maybe that's really aggressive, and I know for sure someone's going to get in the comments and tell me why they think it's wrong or that I should have sold the other one, but that is, it's going to be how it goes. And he built a 2 structure, so we're really, really confident that this guy is running a snatcher, a pilferer. So what that means is that we don't want to exceed his appeal if possible, or exceed 5 appeal if possible, so that we can't be targeted. Oh, and he chose an X instead of the $5. Sure. All right. We are going to jam out our penguin pool now. This is nice because it means that we essentially are already set up for some income, especially no matter what happens. Am I supposed to sell a card now? No, we're going to wait. Like I said, I don't mind aggressively selling, but I would like to keep this rock python in case I can get another reptile like this guy that fits with this friend over here. Geologist is pretty nice. All right, we are not going to play animals because we don't want to break 5. And we're going to sell expert in small animals. I do think this is a good card, but we can just straight up play water playground next turn. And money is not necessarily going to be our problem. You know, we got $3 for that card and don't need to expend an action on it. Whereas, you know, if I played it, I probably would get $3 rebate 4 or 5 times. And there we have it, the pilfer monkey. Feels good. It's good to be right. All right. He could, in theory, end the round by sponsor 3 with an X. I don't think he will, but it doesn't really matter. We're still just going to play our Barn Owl, get a little bit of income there. I could build first, I suppose, but it's not nothing I'm really looking to build. And frankly, if he forces me to discard by causing the break, then I get to do the association action, flip my build, and then my build's just sitting at the top there, which we're perfectly content with. In fact, that's kind of the, what the heck? That's kind of the plan. So we've got climbing and aquatic park, so I'm tempted to keep the adventure playground for a while. Man, am I supposed to just go for science here? Because I could like take these 2. And that's 1, 2. I'd take this one. That's 3, 4. That gets me to the museum. Ah, man. I wish I had kept that other snake. Well, that's what you get for aggressively selling, right? Do we do this and sell the water playground? I do think we need to sell something. Otherwise, we're just overcarded. We could also just take the adventure playground, give up on this dream. This is a tough choice. The Science Museum is just very, very powerful. Ooh. Let's do it. We're going science. Sell a card. Lizards playground. I have so many like needs for my sponsors action right now that if I'm going to commit to doing this science thing, like I'm wondering if I shouldn't have taken those sciences because I have so much need for my sponsor action. But the native lizards I don't want to play until a little bit later. And it was going to be like quarantine lab or water playground. I think water playground is probably better to have played now, but you know, it's a $2 difference. I don't know, $2 is significant, but when I get the science museum, it's gonna completely dwarf that loss there, because it'll be $10. All right, and then he's not gonna break, so we're gonna quarantine lab. That's an awkward build. I feel like I'm probably not playing someone terribly experienced. I just think that's an extremely odd build, because it's surrounded on 2 by it's like, it's not the efficient way you would do the 2 build, right? You would do the 2 build like here and then put the kiosk there. Is that just straight up an X action? Why are you Xing? Because you're holding some kind of high tier sponsors you want to play. And so I'll just build. I think we're just gonna set up our Indian rock python to have somewhere to live if we ever get him a home. It's not, I mean, I could have also, I guess, done like grab a card from the board, but there's nothing that I was super excited about. Maybe the American alligator was what I was supposed to grab. All right, so some 6er. Baboon rock? Foreign Institute? Okay, baboon rock. Super awkward to play this after the baboon. But we'll allow him to go over this way, picking up some X's and making this a slightly better kiosk. I actually don't think he has any options. He must play it here because it's got to touch a rock. And I don't know if it's possible this person drew the baboon rock after the geologist, but like you would hope to play these, I think, in the reverse order, because the geologist could have given you the 3 appeal if that was an option. But sometimes it's not so obvious. All right, I'm going to open myself up to the possibility of getting burned a card if he chooses to break, which is fine. We're going to pitch off either of these. We don't like these at all. Well, the first feels kind of cute. In the we don't have a very good plan for getting another head right now, but we are going to get a card flip. Nah, it's just too much setup. Having to like upgrade animals, make animals the thing. We need to build a 5 enclosure. The 5 enclosure doesn't touch what we've built because we've kind of built ourselves awkwardly into a corner. It's so-so. Maybe they're gonna build or draw cards and go to break. Like, that's a pretty reasonable choice to make. To just draw the 1 card, make the $3. But they're gonna build. We, I think, are gonna X out our animals. We don't need that anywhere near the top. We want to keep moving our cards up so that we've got some money options that way. And then all of our debating about what we sold last turn is irrelevant because this person didn't go to break. And if they don't break now, I think I'm going to. Our plan after the break is, grab the two of these upgrade builds so we can just start like throwing anything we like into play. Build. There we go. No? Changed our mind? Ah, you want to draw 2 cards. Sure. These 2 cards are going to be down. I could pick up the sponsor magnety person. Oh, I could pick up the snake here, which makes us even happier with upgrading build, because we upgrade build, we can kind of build over it, do a little 1-1-2 thing, and pick up the grass snake. Tech Institute's always everyone's friend, but especially when you have a science museum, so we will pretty seriously consider snapping that if we have the opportunity rather than drawing cards. There is an argument to be made for having taken the other university for the double card flip, but I kind of just like playing out this museum now, barfing towards the flipped rocks here so we can play native lizards on our next association action. We're really not focused on these goals at all, which is a little awkward, but I think we're doing some okay stuff. It's not as powerful as having a primate program and a geologist and a baboon rock. Like, I do think our opponent is kind of ahead on us right now. Sponsors flip. That's not, doesn't say explorer. I don't know what does. But I also think we've got some cool stuff going on. We're a little bit at the whim of the deck right now. And frankly, like, our income situation is inherently solved by playing this map with constant pitching of cards. I normally run this at 4, but because I'm planning on snapping the Tech Institute, I'm happy to do this and then crack that Tech Institute off the top there. We're pretty pleased with that. Animals card. Okay, so Xing out animals. A little awkward for them. Okay. This is not the greatest kiosk placement, but it immediately works, so I guess we're going to do that. It also gives a little space towards a kiosk that we could play over in this direction. I don't think we need a pile of X's. We're going to play a kiosk, I think, right there. And we're going to make it easier to touch more rocks. We can build a 5 down here if we want to next turn. Okay, we're going to do a little sideways like this. No card sells for us, please. And a native seabirds. We could just have a full native zoo. Frilled lizard's also kind of appealing there. That's definitely something we want to keep an eye on. Ooh, hello. Okay. I don't love flipping sponsors to immediately crack it, but maybe they really, really needed the money. I honestly think that's probably just not a great play. We're gonna be greedy and keep all our cards, even though they can end right now, because we like all of our cards. Worst case scenario, we end up discarding the rock python. And we're punished for having chosen to discard our science python rather than our rock python here, because we could be playing that rock python right now and constricting this guy. So that's what we get for being bad at games. I think we're just going to play the grass snake and pitch association to the bottom. I almost never pitch association to the bottom because it's just it's just so good, and putting it to the bottom because we don't have a worker means that, hey, maybe we should have been breaking and doing something like that, but we don't quite have a setup yet for even taking a conservation action. So our focus this game is on scoring points off of our really powerful sponsors cards rather than by generating value off of our association action. A little kind of maybe counterintuitive or different than I think most games that you play. I would not describe what I'm doing right now as the fundamental approach to this game. Fundamental approach is generally get a second association worker and generate value out of those association workers. I think we can still make it ride with our native lizards for a little bit, so we're going to. Also, we get these extra X's here and can do silly stuff with that. Plus, we get a card upgrade, which we're pretty happy about. I really like the card upgrade on this map. But we have a lot of stuff we want to hold on to, so it's a little greedy for that. I'm tempted to take upgraded animals because I want to play this frilled lizard directly from the board when I can. And that's like getting an extra card. I mean, he could, if he's going to draw right now, then the frilled lizard is going to go into the trash can anyway if he draws off the board, which he should, right? Like one of his, I think it was a mistake to play I think he should have been selling cards and then used this and gone to break. The like breeding cooperation right now is fine, but it's just kind of a card that he's playing out, I think. I'm going to go to break. Oh, am I? I could build. Sure, let's build. We'll just increase our income, I guess. And we'll grab that native lizards a different way, or the frilled lizard a different way. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3. Do I need to throw anything to the bottom? Hilariously, I might be throwing association to the bottom, right? Because we're going for 5 lizards. We're going for 5 lizards. Okay. I was debating whether something goes here. I like to leave space for 5ers, so I'm inclined to leave this space for a 5er and just throw this one in the corner here, which could be anything that lives there. You know, rock or water, thorny lizards, and what have you. Wow, he's just waiting forever. I mean, I think we're gonna play animals. I'll X this forward. Didn't need to draw that frilled lizard, but I really thought he was gonna cause the break. And we'll upgrade cards because we like drawing cards. Yeah. This here. Actually, because that touches water, we're supposed to actually play our frilled lizard here. Just keep our options open. And do we care about this bird? It doesn't match anything, but it's easy to play and it immediately pays $3 for itself. I think we're still going to get rid of it though. Because there's a chance that this guy's just not going to not going to like do anything with the break. So if he's not, I'm going to. I'm 2 rocks away from maximum value on native. All right, great. Here we go. So then we're going to slam this immediately. And I think we're going to grab Hydrologist because we've got 2 water. We've got our aquatic zoo. Hydrologist is just always good anyway. We might grab that red deer as sort of a like, hey, if we're able to collect some deers, it can live with someone else. And yeah, wow, there's suddenly just tons and tons of herbivore cards out there. And I've got no additional way of drawing off the board. Just fine. I still think we're going to do exactly what we said. I guess if I'm doing this professionally, I should draw 1 card from the deck at a time. That card's probably going in the discard. It's a great card, but it's just really hard to play. And man, are we happy with that slow worm pickup, and immediately happy that we put this little 1 guy over here. See you, nerd. So we are going to be getting to 5 lizards this go around. I think even still, I'm going to use my association worker. I don't like waiting to leave the association worker open. Like I can just kind of plan to do it post break anyway. Especially if we're just rushing towards break. This person is playing wildly. What is going on? Are they going to play something insane? Yeah, they need $45 to play some insane stuff. Even still, I don't approve. I think we're going to start on our partner zoo thing. We're just going to give ourselves some discounts here. I guess maybe I should have taken Africa because I care about it in the long run, but I don't know. I'm really far away. I've got no Africa cards in hand, so I think just taking the money is good. Maybe we even get this moose too. Moose is really awkward because I can't play him unless I have structural things. I mean, frankly, grabbing the kangaroo, the moose, and the expert in herbivores is like kind of a dreamy situation. In terms of pivoting over to herbivores. I don't like playing the flock animals into an empty enclosure, but when you immediately can follow a flock animal with another flock animal, feels a lot more palatable. Oh, you're robbing me. I see. I think we're okay on money. We only need $15. Plus 10 for building. And we like all of our cards. Plus every card is worth $3 no matter what. Oh, but we're immune. Quarantine. Ha-ha! I always forget about that card. Oh, that's awesome. Good for us. Our strategy is so good. Man, Hydrologist is maybe smarter to build earlier. We're just going to avoid building around the water. I think we want to set up our... I don't think we want to... Well, we could just X this over. We want to play native lizards before our next association action. Because our next association action is going to be 5 lizards. But we could just X hop over it. And then maybe we could take our time to build down there. We're 2 extra points. Oh, what am I at? 17 plus 9 puts me at 26. I actually... have to do this first. Another project? No. It's awkward to have 2 workers and have your person be the your association be a little over associated. At this stage, I think that's really the advantage that FaZe needs to be leaning into. Not that I'm unhappy about it at all. We could use an X to jump animals, but I don't think we really need to do that at all. We don't want to grab this ×2. I think we want to make a 4 enclosure because it seems like we could do something with a 4 enclosure. We're going to head down this way. Actually, you know what? We're going to finish our little circle here, and we're just going to put our 4 up top here. Because we've got other spaces for our 5s over here and here. So we'll just grab the value thing. No sales, please. Thank you. Now that our cards is upgraded, we do want to be running it in spot 5. And that's part of the reason why I like upgrading cards a little bit earlier on this map. I mean, I still upgraded it at 3rd, but it's the later you get, the less I want to be doing cards in my spot 4 action. But I think earlier in the game where there's like fewer options, it's more exciting to do it that way. Yeah, that makes sense, playing that straight off the board. I think we are going to jam the constriction on this guy now. Like, slowing down the card draw is nice. Yeah, even though this takes up the rock slots, it's worth it for the extra income that it gives us. Constriction for you. Okay. Oh, and then I talked about not playing on water, and I immediately forgot that I had this hydrologist. Cool. Well, that cost myself $3 that way. Very, very big-brained of me. Oh, I only gave him 1 constriction. I always think it's 2 constrictions for some reason. So I think I want to scoop up. The thing is, I'm not going to be able to keep all these. I'm debating whether I sell this hydrologist out of embarrassment, but frankly, I need it for the endgame goals anyway. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush out the hydrologist and see if I can greed these cards. Because I need essentially the space in my hand, right? Because I haven't picked up the university that increases my hand size, which was maybe a mistake earlier. I don't like it on this map because I just want to always be pitching cards, but I didn't really expect to get an herbivore trio just kind of like into range here. And to that point, it might have been his job to steal those cards from me using an X. But now we're just going to go ahead and grab all 3. Red Kangaroo is like kind of bad for us, frankly, but it's just a place where all these guys get to live. And then we got to decide if we're going to sell something. And I do think the odds that he's going to break are really, really, really high. So I think we've just got to acknowledge that something's going to go away. And I want to play expert in herbivores. I think sadly the red deer, even though discounted, might be the one that needs to go. Really what I want to do is get rid of the red kangaroo and then put these guys in some other herbivore, but I don't know if I'm going to draw another herbivore that's big enough. We're going to play it a little bit conservatively because I think even though we're kind of like tied, I think we're doing well because we're about to get a pile of points from this reptiles thing, so I do think we're ahead. And I think when we're ahead, we're not supposed to be making. We don't need to make as many greedy plays. Like we want to be able to play out this animal system structure, eco group. But red kangaroo is pretty bad for us because it's a flock animal. I don't like playing the flock animal as its base one, and it pouches, which it creates a tension with our cards that we're already pitching them for money. So it doesn't really do the work we want it to do. Oh, I think it's 2 constriction tokens because it's 2 tracks. But wasn't he ahead of me on 2 tracks? Maybe not. Break. If we can get a hold of that meerkat den, that would be just super. Problem is that he's got upgraded association, so probably he just takes it from us. We can play our friend the Indian Cobra. That's kind of exciting. All right. Let's get this worker. We're getting it ×2. I guess on cards? Draw a ton of cards and do something cool with them? All cards are worth something for us. Like, we've got pouches and we're commercial harbor. Like, every card does something pretty powerful for us right now. We don't even hate this Andean Condor because it's actually worth +2 points for us. I think I'm probably not supposed to get distracted, and I don't need that. Yeah, it's not getting Science Library was a bit of a bummer, but that's the way it goes. I'm trying to decide what I'm supposed to build for structures here. I really have no idea. I think I'm just gonna, when I don't know, I usually do the 1-2-1-1 build, or this build, or the all the weenies build. I think we're gonna do this one though, because this is gonna kind of be one of our last chances, and then we put the little weenies snaking around the rocks and everything like that. We really should have done the 4 here instead of up here. I was just thinking about getting the extra $1 from this, and I completely forgot about the hydrologist. So that's just a really sloppy play. But 4 here, and then, like, 1, whatever, anywhere. And then we could have played the animals. So that was just a silly choice. We're gonna play expert and herbivores next, I think. Actually, we're gonna grab that meerkat den. And I do want that cobra. Like, it is good, but I don't think I need to. It's going to drop into my reputation range so I can play it if he doesn't play it. If he does play it, it's not going to target me. And so I just want these extra cards, I think. We're happy with that herbivore, but we're also a little validated with the fact that it's not big enough to play into. I feel like our card draws have been really good this game, but also that's kind of what happens when you draw a gazillion cards and sell the bad ones, so my perspective is totally borked. All right. I mean, he's going to take probably an association action next. So I think I am 2. There's a lot of stuff I want to do before taking animals here. The advantage of animals here is that I can use his upgraded sponsors card, which is, I want to use sponsors or cards, right? Like, those are the 2 things I want to use from him. Although, yeah, because I don't have enough association workers to use his association worker. I guess I could kind of just wait. Are we anywhere near break? We're kind of nearish to break. This person plays crazy. All right, we're going to focus on just jamming out our power rather than playing cute. We have stuff that we want to do. We have too many cards in our hand. So we're just going to make all this stuff happen as a reality. Here's good. This stork would be more exciting if I really had space for an aviary, but since we don't, bye boy. Oh, I could keep it and pouch it. We're just gonna sell him, just in case he does something like 2 X's on the A, because we still don't have the upgraded university. Plus, we need $39. Oh, we're short. Did not think about that. It's a kind of thing you're supposed to think about. 23 and 13 plus another 3. 16, that's also $39. Well, we weren't paying attention to the fact that we wanted to get our meerkat den out before our herbivores, huh? All right, this is okay. We have a way of fixing this. Actually kind of glad that they got money. So 13, 36. So if we pick up an Asia Zoo and he doesn't end the round, we can then Cobra and Wombat. Which I think is maybe the way for us to go. Or Cobra and Kangaroo is what I mean. We could just Cobra and Wombat right now. Not mess with it. That's smarter. 36, 38. Make it 1 cheaper for us. Rhino is what we were looking for before. Which means maybe we actually can get away with not playing the Kangaroo. Hypnotizing him is not great right now. I really want one of those other cards to be hypnotized. Alright, we're gonna use this while we can. We're supposed to take Australia. And then just in case, I guess we go into Africa later, need more employees. We actually kind of do need more employees. The more employees, because the extra partner zoo will give us those employees. You gonna end the round? No, he's gonna play a sponsor card. Sure, the one you just picked up that gives you a bunch of money. That makes sense. I kind of want to dilly-dally. $26 for these guys. Plus 14 makes 40. I'm wondering if I... oh no, his animals will be out of range. I'm tempted to draw cards right now, you know? I think I'm going to. I think he's not going to end the round. So I know I can use these 2 cards. I want the Rhino? Give up on the Kangaroo? Play the Rhino? I think I do. Oh, I was supposed to sell the Kangaroo. Yeah, because the Kangaroo's pretty... Or it could just be an option for later. Like, we don't even need to... We don't even need to sell it. just need him to not break the round. 24 and 15 makes 39. That's a little much. Although we could just sell a card to make that a reality. So we're going to get our 4 herbivores handily. But we're just struggling with the sequencing here because... and I apologize if you're watching right now and you're like, finish any of your sentences. Because, kind of want to get expert in herbivores out first. Which I got the meerkat den out first because it's the most important one. It gives us the additional appeal. Then we had all these other things that we were trying to do. And now I'm debating whether I actually put out the expert in herbivores first back to rebate us the money for playing these things, which I think is what we are going to do, because with him having all this money himself, I think the odds that he's going to go to break are very low. He's got an association worker that he wants to do. He's got cards to play. So I think we put out the expert in herbivores. And then we just start dumping hella herbivores into play. Kind of messes with the Cobra plan. But I think that's okay. Alternatively, we can just say we'll play out the herbivores more slowly and then use the Cobra anyway. Which means we're doing what with our workers when the break happens? Well, we do have upgraded association, so we could get an employee and some reputation with a 5 association action, or a 4 association action could get us our final, could give us a CP for university. So it's not wasted. Our association actions are not wasted if we don't rush this right now. Or we could just put out White Rhino, grab Europe, right, and make that a reality. We like Europe because it's 4 points automatically. Yeah, this is the course of action. Cobra. So the Cobra is going to let us end the round ourselves on our own condition, and we want the round to end at this point. In fact, it's actually quite good. And Europe. And we're going to take his sponsors action and just take the cash. Oh, and I guess we need to sell a card. I think the kangaroo is great value, but we just can't use pouching very well in this game. I mean, we can, but we give up something that we don't want to give up. We're not willing to give up. We're just going to play tons and tons of herbivores for the rest of the game. So we, if we get a chance, we might just play that reindeer straight off the map. I don't know that we need to be aggressive about drawing it. We're going to grab our ×2 here. I think we're going to rush through the break here. So I think our plan is we're going to build, grab the ×2. We're going to have a 3 and spaces for small things over here. I'm just going to build another 5er. I mean, frankly, I don't think I even need to build for anything. And it's a little bit of a wasted value to not have the pavilions, but I like having the option if we draw. Laundry's done. These are both equivalent right now. All right, I'm keeping the climbing park, even though the two of them are equivalent, because if I draw something like the little hopping the like European kudu gazelle thing. It's got 2 rocks on it, so that's kind of the ideal draw that we're looking at. Whereas for 2 water icons, I mean, I guess we actually are set up to 2 water icons with like a Siberian tiger, or maybe the Australian pelican. So I guess maybe I immediately thought of the one example because we were talking about herbivores, but it could have been one or the other. I think it would be fine either way. We have no evidence one way or the other. It probably doesn't matter, frankly. All right. This is going to go here just in case. Yes, we don't have a point from a pavilion, but we don't really care. We're going to be doing this association action twice. We've only got 2 workers, which means that we're going to use one of the workers to grab the worker off of our partner zoos, and we'll, I guess, finally grab Africa just in case we end up drawing a bunch of them, I guess. A little awkward that we played them backwards, but that's just the way it goes. And then we will do the 2 reputation as well. So that's going to take 2 of our workers, but we'll have 1 left because we've gotten 1 extra, and we'll use that person to do our European partner zoo. And then what we're going to do is just we're going to force these through with the break X's and just kind of go as fast as possible. Take these. Hooray. Here's $2. Yep. And then we do it again. Conservation. Herbivores. No. Europe. We don't really need money. We don't need to take this university just yet. Like, we have all the time in the world. I think I'm actually going to take this snapper. We're going to take the snapper because the snapper is like $3 income rather than $5 income, but also gives us options. This is my favorite map to take the snapper on. I don't think we really care about the... Oh, we could care about the Agama. Maybe we just don't want him to have the Agama. Let's hate draft the Agama. It's okay for us too. Like, we could play it. It's in Africa. But it's very good for him because it's this, if he doesn't have the cards, it's his final 2 kind of objectives there. Waza. Where does that go? It doesn't fit. Yeah, the way this... Am I blind? Oh, he's got a diversity. The number 1 card that I forget does, like, exists in this game even. Hilarious. Alright. Let's just rip some cards. I think I'm going to be greedy with that reindeer. I don't need you. And this expert on the Americas guy. I don't even have Americas, so we don't like that. So low mountain range is, I guess, usable for us. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a decent little draw. If we want to play this snowy owl, we're going to have to do it first, though. So that's an important thing for us to pay attention to. Cineris vulture. Interesting thing to value. Interesting thing to value. It's, I don't think a very good animal in general, but, you know, the vultures do... It fits nicely because it just goes right there. I'm not sure what the motivation is here for them. Yeah, the domination monkey was a pretty good card for them. All right, we're gonna X our animals and just do that. Is he gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna X our animals and do that. It's possible, I think, that this person's gonna end the game and then we're in trouble because we don't. We maybe we're supposed to not. Maybe we're supposed to not take the 2 reputation, because then when we play our animals, we go to 8 and got this extra worker here, and then we would have had 2 workers to do a 5. I actually wonder if that was kind of the case. I don't think I quite realized how close FaZe was to crossing. I've kind of talked some smack about their game plan, and I might lose here. So let's see if we have to eat our words. We're never going to wind up playing this low mountain range, so we're going to sell it. Because now that we have the reptile breeding program, we just have a better option. Probably should have sold something last turn, too. I think that if I was being smarter and paying a little bit more attention, I would have realized how close it was to the end of the game. And I was getting in a situation where my eyes were too big for my stomach for things to have and do. I think I'm going to stumble backwards into a victory different from my plan here. So ostensibly, FaZe does not have any goals, any conservation goals that they can complete. Of course, they could have just drawn something off the top. And I guess actually they should have taken Yosemite National Park, which would score them kind of another 8 points here. But I think I'm going to end the game right now because there's very little they can do. I can just cross, essentially. 17 for these 2. So we're going to do that. I think we don't want to dilly-dally. I don't think there's anything else that cool that we can do. So we're going to put this snowy owl here. Sure, why not? 4-8, yeah, okay. Let's see if we got anything cool. What's our Australia situation looking like? Toot for us. I mean, whatever. And you live in this giant place. Okay. So, I mean, we've definitely ended up leaving. We missed the idea of like how close we were to the end of the game, which means we definitely left some value on the table in terms of, being able to play out pavilions in times where we played out bigger things. And I think we probably could have sequenced our association maybe a smidge better in that last turn there. I also did notice that certainly I ended up taking the wrong partner zoos along the way. I do think that I was kind of taking them based on what I had in my hand, but if I'd had a little bit more foresight, I think I could have done something cool with that. Looks like they are indeed going to do conservation action here, and I think it's going to be close, but I think I've got them. I don't think they've got, well, they're not diverse enough for the science lab. They are touching too many of their water spots. They did not hit the monkeys. They did hit the geologist, and they've got a little bit of diversity researcher. So it kind of depends, I guess, on what they have. Releasing the tortoise there is going to be worth another 6 points for them. It's going to be close. Close-ish. I think climbing park with 2, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, it's going to be really close. But yeah, we missequenced a little bit in the end there, and I think we probably ended up getting away with more. We definitely had an eyes too big for our stomach kind of situation that game, and made a few other small technical errors, but I think we ended up walking away with it because we managed to essentially jam all those reptiles along the way. I think we were much more aggressive with selling cards than our opponent was. And there we have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to get in the comments and let me know just strategy lines that you thought that I missed, that I didn't comment on in particular, or if you had kind of a thought about how I should have sequenced at the end there a little bit more cleanly. I'd definitely appreciate to hear that. Well, hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for watching. And if you don't mind, like and subscribe, please. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.